Hey there, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. This is going to be the very first part of my breakdown of the 6G and beyond, the future of wireless communication systems academic paper. I want to cover this in detail because I feel like it is very important to the things that we've been covering lately. So I feel like people should know what 6G is. They should know how it is viewed in an academic setting. They should know some of the ways it is being measured, at least the progress that's being made, how that's being measured, the reason it's getting so much funding, etc. And so I'm not sure if this is going to be released as multiple videos or if it will just be one video. I might do a mix of both, but this is going to be part of a series that is going to be me looking into the whole Synergis manual 3 that's on my landing page. So, without, before we get started, I think I want to make sure everybody knows where those things are because we're going to be referencing some of these materials throughout the video. So, So this here is my landing page. You can find this on my Substack right here at the top. You can go to where it says transhumanism, or you can go to husbandry.officialurban.com. And I'll put the link to these resources wherever I put this video. It has the start here section, and this is what I'm referring to. You can get that here. If you just click on the download, it'll take you to the document, and that's what I'm going to be doing this series over. It's going to take a while. I don't know how long it will, run or how long I will do it, but this has some information on Sabrina Wallace. You probably know who she is already if you've been watching myself or Juxtaposition or her for a while. It has a whole section on images, and then it has like 2,000 pages of just white papers over here on the side. This whole thing is 2,600 pages. And so I highly recommend you guys download a copy of that if you haven't. We've also got playlists, Spotify. I've got some links to Juxtaposition's channel. We run a weekly series together on Tuesdays, and just more downloadable resources. I heavily urge you guys to check this out. Here, the glossary is very important. It has a spreadsheet here with all kinds. Here, I bet I can open this. Um, Here we go. Yeah, it has this spreadsheet here with just as many definitions of words and terms and things that I've been coming across mainly from those documents that I've just showed you. This will be added to and expanded on over time. These black spots here are just empty. I haven't used those areas yet. So check this often, bookmark it, and there's a few other things at the bottom here, just groups, organizations, etc. And that's all from the juxtapositions lexicon over here, bio-digital convergence section. Got all kinds of information here. You can check that out. I encourage you to. But with that being said, today's video, I'm going to be looking over the paper on 6G. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, so 6G and beyond, the future of wireless communication systems. We'll go, and I have highlighted some parts of this just because it will keep me on track better, and because while I would love to go through all 30 pages of this document, I don't think that would be valuable for everybody if I just read it verbatim. And so what I've done is I've kind of highlighted some things And if there's something that I'm just going to kind of skim through or skip over, I will do my best to let you know that. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. This is to help me learn and then to help you learn with me. So, that being said, why don't I just go ahead and begin with the abstract, which in terms of, like a scientific journal is like a bit of a summary or a preview. So, 6G and beyond will fulfill the requirements of a fully connected world and provide ubiquitous wireless connectivity for all. Transformative solutions are expected to drive the surge for accommodating a rapidly growing number of intelligent devices and services. Major technological breakthroughs to achieve connectivity goals within 6G include: 1. A network operating at the terahertz band with a much wider spectrum of resources. 2. Intelligent communication environments that enable a wireless propagation environment with active signal transmission and reception. 3. Pervasive artificial intelligence. Note that word pervasive. 4. Large-scale network automation. 5. An all-spectrum reconfigurable front end for dynamic spectrum access. 6. Ambient backscatter communications for energy savings. 7. The Internet of Space Things enabled by CubeSats and UAVs. And finally, 7. Cell-free massive MIMO communication networks. So, pause there just for a minute, right at the end of the highlight. MIMO. We're going to look that word up in a moment, and we're going to do that often because if you just read this at face value and you don't know what some of these words mean, or worse, you don't understand the soft language being used to obscure them, you really won't understand the scope of what's happening here. So let me finish the paragraph and we'll look that up. In this roadmap paper, use cases for these enabling technologies as well as recent advancements on related topics are highlighted and open problems with possible solutions are discussed, followed by a development timeline outlining the worldwide efforts in realization of 6G. Going beyond 6G, promising early-stage technologies such as the Internet of Nano Things and the Internet of Bio-Nano Things and quantum communications, which are expected to have far-reaching impact on wireless communications, have also been discussed at length in this paper. So, MIMO, well, let's go right back over to the spreadsheet, and I will bring you with me so you can see. We'll go and we'll find MIMO. There it is, massive MIMO. Multiple input, multiple output technology. That's what it stands for, MIMO. Using large arrays of antennas, often 100 or more at base stations to serve multiple devices simultaneously and improve spectral efficiency. Uses beam forming to focus signals towards specific users, overcoming propagation loss, particularly in high frequency bands like wave. And we're going to look into that in a moment. So, back to the document. Index terms are just going to be just some terms that are important that pop up quite a bit. And hopefully you'll have a better understanding of these by the time we're finished. 6G, wireless communications, terahertz band, intelligent communication environments, pervasive artificial intelligence, network automation, all-spectrum reconfigurable transceivers, ambient backscatter communications, cell-free massive MIMO, Internet of Nano Things, Internet of Bio-Nano Things, quantum communications. Okay, the introduction section. Wireless communication systems have experienced substantial revolutionary progress over the past few years. Various stakeholders, including commercial solutions providers, academic research groups, standard bodies, and end users, have all greatly benefited from the radical changes led by most recent 5G developments, which include paradigm-defining techniques such as network softwareization and virtualization, massive MIMO, ultra-densification, and the introduction of new frequency bands. Numerous burgeoning applications and verticals are including virtual and augmented reality, VAR, e-commerce, contactless payment, machine-to-machine communications, and enhanced mobile broadband, amongst others, have demonstrated the vast potential of 5G, which continues to evolve and adapt to a wide variety of emerging use cases. However, as societal needs continue to evolve, there has been a marked rise in a plethora of emerging use cases that cannot be served satisfactorily with 5G. For example, the next generation of VAR, virtual and augmented reality, or artificial reality, I think. Yeah, virtual and augmented reality, i.e. holographic teleportation, requires, I think that's terabytes per second level data rates and microsecond level latency, which cannot be achieved with even the millimeter wave, wave frequency bands within 5G. So basically, the technology that is in the future is so advanced and requires the ability to move so much data, terabytes per second. If that's correct, I may be wrong on the TBPS because it doesn't define that, or maybe it will tell us, later on in the paper, terabytes per second level data rates. That's insane. So they're not able to do this with 5G, which is why they're pushing for 6G. Further, increasing industrial automation and the move from Industry 4.0 to the upcoming Industry X.0, X, like Twitter X, paradigm will push connectivity density well beyond the 10 to the 6 kilometers squared metric that 5G is designed for. In addition to requiring an overhaul of existing network management practices, further an increase in the connection density will also result in demands for improved energy efficiency, which 5G is not designed for. Consequently, the research community has gravitated towards addressing the aforementioned major issues, probably is what it says, challenges, and we posit that ongoing research in the domains of terahertz band communications, intelligent surfaces and environments, and network automation, for example, may very well hold the key to the future of wireless. Yeah, and it keeps bringing up societal needs, or let's see, set up here. I highlighted it. Must have lost it. I don't know where it went. It said something about, where is it? Yeah, probably up here, I think. Yeah, societal needs, and basically it says that this is all for the good of society. They're doing this. Yeah, and end users are going to be getting a series of benefits from this. But if you notice, all the other use cases go first. Let's see. Stakeholders go first. Commercial solutions providers, academic research groups, standards bodies, and then you and me. So just remember, everything in this document is to make society better. This will not be used for anyone with bad intentions. It's definitely not like they would do something crazy like build nano devices and just start spraying it on people. It's not like anybody who's got billions of dollars would just write a check for a couple $1,000,000 worth of this stuff and, just send some guys up and pay them a couple $100,000 each to spray this stuff on people constantly, even on Christmas. Oh, wait.
Remember that last year around this time we had this wicked fog like all around that looks like particulate matter? I don't even want to go out in this shit. I mean, look at that.
Don't you guys remember
I don't even want to go out in this shit.
And you went out in the fog and you saw
little
particles that make you look like you were in a snow globe?
What in Sam hell is going on here?
I remember that, but
anybody have this going on?
Government says it was always there, and that's
like I don't even want to go outside. Like no joke. This is wild.
It's just me.
This does not look like fog. it is more of a particulate matter. Alright, so see, it's just really thick, really bright. It's been 5 days like this.
Anyway, I hope you guys are comfortable with a little bit of I guess snark humor that I've got, because this is just insane, and the way that this is being contained and hidden is very simple. It's that these words are very big, and I don't claim to understand them fully myself, but what I do claim is that we're going to look through this together. It has some graphics and images, and I think those will be very nice to help everybody conceptualize. So, this table here, the evolution from 5G to 6G wireless systems, it's going to get into key performance indicators, and that's an important part of this paper. Key performance indicators, for instance, system capacity is one of them. Peak data rate in gigabytes per second. 5G is at 20 gigabytes per second, where 6G is 1,000 gigabytes per second. Experience data rate, gigabytes per second. 5G is 0.1, whereas 6G is 1. And so these are what we're going to look at next. To this end, an amalgamation of societal needs, with air quotes, societal needs and technological breakthroughs that serve to enable those needs are the key drivers for a generational leap beyond existing wireless systems. Together, these factors make a strong case for a focused discourse. A focused discourse. Okay, yeah. A focused discourse on the next frontier in wireless communications, i.e. 6G. We envision that 6G will not only enable a pervasive, that's a key word, pervasive, intelligent, reliable, scalable, and secure terrestrial wireless network, but will also incorporate space communications to form an omnipresent, there's another word, omnipresent, means everywhere. Omni, multiple, present, everywhere, omnipresent wireless network. In keeping with the need for true wireless ubiquity, this paper details our vision for the future of wireless communications, highlighting emerging use cases and detailing the key enabling technologies that are essential to the realization of 6G. So, my habit is that we should look up words we don't know. And so, just to grasp this better, let's look up pervasive. All right, here we are in the 1828 Webster's Dictionary for pervade. First definition it lists: to pass through an aperture, pour interstice, I guess that's another word, to permeate, as liquors that pervade the pores. 2, to pass or spread through the whole extent of a thing and into every minute part. It says what? But God pervades, adjusts, and agitates the whole. I guess that's a quote. 3, we use this verb in a transitive form to express a passive or intransitive signification. Thus, when we say the electric fluid pervades the earth, this is basically what we're interested in, or ether pervades the universe, we mean only that the fluid is diffused through the earth or universe, or exists in all part of them. So when we say a spirit of constellation pervades all classes of men, we may mean that such a spirit passes through all classes or exists among all classes. So basically, to get in and spread through everything, and see, there's a lot of good that can come from looking up words, even if you already know what the words mean. So just because you know what a word means doesn't mean you shouldn't look it up in like an 1828 dictionary to see what it meant, 100, 200 years ago. So the reason that was interesting is pervasively intelligent. Now with that understanding, what we know that means is that they're going to put this into your life, every part of your life, and it is going to with its intelligent, because it's smarter than you, smarter than me, smarter than any human. It's how they see this. And so they are just going to put it in everything. Because if they can get these nanoparticles in everything, it becomes programmable matter. Very important. We're going to get there soon. Okay. We begin our discussion on 6G by formally introducing the key performance indicators that are expected to guide the design of 6G systems. While the ITU telecommunications standardization sector, that is a mouthful, is working on a set of official recommendations for the KPI metrics, the tentative values have appeared in the public domain recently. And this paper is from 2020. I should have began with that at the top of the paper. It lists the dates. So this paper is from 2020. Table 1, which is right here, Table 1, shows you those indicators. Let's see. Table 1 presents these values and contrasts them against the metrics associated with 5G. These KPIs serve as the fundamental metrics to evaluate system performance. In particular, from the table, we note the following classes of KPIs. I'm not going to read them all for you. You can pause and read, or you can download and check those out yourself. But in the green, system capacity is one. System latency, system management. Achieving the KPIs highlighted in Table 1 will require revolutionary breakthroughs across all domains of wireless communications. In particular, we identify the following major thrusts. New spectrum usage and radio design paradigms, having to do with the terahertz band, which we're going to get into in a moment. Didn't need to highlight that. Novel network architectures, increasing intelligence and automation, enhancing network coverage beyond the terrestrial domain, meaning in order to achieve true wireless ubiquity, 6G will need to expand beyond terrestrial networks, incorporating both near Earth and as well as deep space connectivity. Towards the fulfillment of this grand vision, and it is a grand vision indeed, we note that several enabling solutions have been conceived and are being actively studied. As shown in Figure 1, these technologies include 1. A network operating at the terahertz band with abundant spectrum resources. 2. Intelligent communication environments that enable a wireless propagation environment with active signal transmission and reception. 3. Pervasive artificial intelligence. 4. Large-scale network automation. 5. An all-spectrum reconfigurable front end for dynamic spectrum access. 6. Ambient backscatter communication for energy savings. 7. The Internet of Space Things enabled by CubeSats and UAVs. And 8. Cell-free massive MIMOs. This does have a lot of nice graphics in it, which was part of the reason that I wanted to do this and present this, because it's very visual. It shows you everything that's kind of going into this process. To note is at the bottom half where it says B6G. I think that means biological 6G. So the top half here, in the blue, is just regular 6G, but the bottom here, quantum communications, Internet of Bio-Nano things, and Internet of Nano things, have to do with B6G, which I am assuming is biological 6G. We also make note of three very promising technologies that are expected to shape the future of communications, yet will not be sufficiently mature for 6G, which means that they're already planning beyond 6G. These include 1. The Internet of Nano Things, 2. The Internet of Bio-Nano Things, and 3. Quantum communications. Further, in addition to the aforementioned key technologies, holistic security solutions will also be vital to the success of 6G. So, just to get this right, let's go and look up holistic. So for some reason, I guess holistic is a newer word. I didn't find it in any of the dictionaries that I had, but here is the Cambridge Dictionary holistic, dealing with or treating the whole of something or someone and not just a part. So basically, what's being said here is that their solution is not just going to be like a new product or just, like a small little part of, a industry. This is going to revolutionize the whole thing. This is intended to be a whole global transformation, and this is very crucial to what has been planned for centuries. So I'll finish this section up and end it off, and use cases will be the next part. So let's see. Further, in addition to the aforementioned key technologies, holistic security solutions will also be vital to the success of 6G. However, these fall outside of the purview of this paper. Further, we posit that while prior art concerning 6G wireless systems has been become increasingly commonplace over the last years. A majority of the past publications in this domain focus on a select few topics, potentially hampering a comprehensive overview in terms of key aspects that are expected to shape the future of wireless communications. In addition, discussion concerning beyond 6G systems, such as the Internet of Bio-Nano Things and the Internet of Nano Things and quantum communications, is equally critical, but largely absent from existing publications. That is probably because it is currently military classified technology. So, starting here, as research on 6G wireless systems continues to evolve and break new ground, this paper is intended to equip readers with a targeted insight into the next generation of wireless communications. More specifically, through this paper, we aim to deliver a holistic roadmap for 6G and beyond wireless systems, replete with detailed discussions surrounding the use cases and key enabling technologies. The larger goal here is to encourage the scientific community to work together towards tackling the critical research challenges associated with the realization of the 6G systems. The rest of this paper is organized as follows. In section 2, we present a wide variety of use cases that will be enabled by 6G. Further, sections 3 to 6 present details concerning key technologies that are critical to the success of 6G, along with the discussion on major challenges faced by each. And then in section 11, we will discuss promising enablers for beyond 6G systems, followed by a timeline for the evolution of 6G. Section 12, finally, in section 12, and finally in section 13, we conclude the paper. And so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do one episode for each of the sections, and then at the end of it, I'm going to put all of those together, and it will just be one giant video, because these subjects are something that you really can't cover all at one go, because if you do, you will quickly be overwhelmed. And so I will continue this in the next episode. Thanks, guys.